Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to trace this and transfer it onto your paper. So your paper is going to be about the same size as a normal sheet of paper. And so it'll be about the size. It's kind of hard to see with the video because it's a little close to the desk. But you'll use a normal size, I think it's like an 8 by 11. And then what you'll need is the Bristol paper. I'll have that provided in class. And then we'll need a Sharpie. This is a fine point that I have on hand. We'll have some in class, and then you can either use your 6B pencil, which is your dark or silver pencil, black or silver that you have, or your 4B. Either one will work for the transfer, okay? But we'll use these in a second. For now, we're just gonna use this. So how we're gonna start is that we're just gonna go over the outline with the Sharpie. We're gonna do this just so we can know where the main shapes are, okay? And for my example, I'm gonna use this elephant that I printed off the internet. And we're gonna be doing this so that we have a general idea of how the shape is. I don't want you guys spending weeks on end drawing this. I wanna have a decent drawing, but then I want you guys to really focus on the textures because that's what we've been learning. And so that's why I'm allowing you guys to trace this for this project. So I'm gonna just kind of start here. I'm gonna go along all the shapes. So I think I'm gonna do this shape too because it's a shadow shape, and we might want it as a different shape when we're drawing, but I'm not sure yet. It's good to trace it anyways, just in case. So if you guys are choosing to do an animal or an object, you need to make sure that you have your photo reference posted onto the Google Doc that we have for class before the morning, because I'm going to be printing off these Google Docs every morning. And so if you come to me during class and ask me to print something off, I won't do it because I want to spend my time helping you guys out and not printing photos. So you need to do that before you come to class, okay? I'm going to do this background too because I think that'll look really cool on my picture if I do a little bit of background stuff. Do I want to do a tree too? I think I'll leave it for now. So I think I'll just leave it with this. So what I'm going to do now to trace it is that I'm going to flip this over. So I outlined all of the important shapes. And now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to take my pencil. I need to make sure that it's super sharp. So this one's not very sharp. I'm going to sharpen this real quick. Oh goodness. I used the wrong side of the sharpener. Here we go. That should fix it. You want to try to get as long of a point as you can, because we're going to be laying it sideways and kind of going over it like we did with the tracings. Because if you go like this, go straight down, it's not going to work very well. You're going to probably rip the paper. You want to go like this. That's the best way to do this part of the project. I'm going to sharpen this pencil as well while I have it here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it sideways like this, not like this. I'm going to lay it sideways and go over it like this. See how I'm rubbing it? You want to do this on the whole page, and you want to make sure you get it really thick too, because what's going to happen is we're going to go over the top again, and all this graphite's going to go onto our page that we're going to be drawing on. And the cool thing about graphite is that it layers, so don't try to go super dark all at once. Build it up. Go nice and slow. Because see how dark that is? But I can even make it darker the more I go over it. So just kind of go over the whole thing and then build up. And if you have the right kind of pencil, it will get darker over time. So be patient. So it gets pretty flat quickly, so you'll need to be sharpening your pencils quite often. It's okay if you have to sharpen them. It's not the end of the world. You just kind of keep going, keep going. I'm going to do it where I see the lines. If you can't see the lines, you might have to do more, but I can kind of tell, like my elephant ends here. And so I'll just like go over those areas. I'm not going to shade all the way down here because that's just a bunch of time. And I don't want to take that extra time, right? And I doubt you guys want to do that either. So just do what you need to do. I'm just kind of shading this whole thing. I'm going to do that over here. Go over the whole picture. I'm going to try using this pencil. See if I can get it slightly longer lead showing. Just keep going at it. You want it to get pretty dark before you turn it over to do the tracing of it again, to transfer all this graphite onto your drawing. Okay, I'm almost at a point where I'm ready. So now that I have this all kind of colored in, remember you want it so it's, you want to place your pencil like this, not like this when you're shading this in. You want it to be nice and flat so then when we transfer it, it'll transfer on. So once it's done, what you'll do is you'll turn it over and you'll get your piece of paper that I have provided for you. It's going to be a Bristol piece of paper, and I'm going to tape the corners here, okay? So I'm going to grab some of my tape I have here at home. I'm going to tape corners. Make sure they line up, otherwise it'll look kind of funny. Or you want to place it where you want it to be traced. I guess that's the better way to put it. Line up where you want your drawing to be traced. So if you want your drawing to be in the middle, put it in the middle. I like where my elephant is here on the side, and so I'm going to keep it there. But if, for example, I had a picture and my elephant picture was like this, I wouldn't want it exactly in the center or all the way over here. So I'd want to move my picture down and then tape it where I wanted it. I'm going to tape both corners. This is going to keep it so it's not sliding around, because it's the worst thing when you're tracing and the paper moves and then it just ruins your whole drawing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over everything that I did with the marker, with my pencil, and you can use a pen or the marker again. You just want to make sure that you can kind of see where you're going so you know what you've already traced. You just kind of do each of the shapes that you outlined before. And so I'm going to check it now to see if it's doing it, and you can see, boom, it's looking pretty snazzy. I would keep doing this, but I already got a transfer from a past recording that I tried to do that didn't work. So I have this one that I finished, and if you can see, I kind of went over it again after I transferred it, because if you look at this, it's significantly lighter than what that is. And so go over it again with your pencil and fix your drawing. Like if there's something I don't like maybe this leg, I could bring it out a little bit more and then like erase that line a little bit, you know, just so because sometimes tracings, they're not perfect. And so that's the cool thing, is we can fix it. And artists, they use tracing all the time. It's a great tool to kind of speed up the process sometimes. But you don't want it to be a crutch. So it's not something you want to do all the time, but it's something that can help. So as you look here, you can see numbers that I placed on here. These are the numbers for the different textures that I planned out in my artist plan. So you guys tried out 6 different textures. You can choose your top 4 if you'd like, but here I have 6. And so I'm going to use my top 6, and I divided this into different shapes. So I thought it would be really cool if I did a shape down the middle of the elephant and had one texture here and a different texture here, right? And each shape needs to be a different texture. So if I wanted to, I could also do shape maybe here, and then maybe do the same thing on this side just so it matches. And I could make these different textures. So I could maybe make this number 2 still, and then make this maybe number 1 still. And my bad, I should be writing in these numbers with my lighter pencil so it's easier to erase. You want to use your HB pencil, because if you look at these, it's significantly lighter. But I have kind of planned out where I'm going to be putting these different textures. I have one for the sky, one for the grass, and I kind of did a little mini sketch of where I want some grass here. But I'm going to use a different texture than just a grass, right? Because we have our sketches, I just have to remember I want whatever it is that I'm doing, I want it to be slightly different than the whole background here. But when you're done tracing your image, just write down the numbers of where you're going to put them, and then as you're putting in the textures, you'll just erase it and you'll fill in the texture for that square. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll work on my personal piece and then I'll have an example for you guys.